What's going on, everybody? My name is Riley Welch from Inkster. I'm joined with the founder of Inkster, Danny Gibson, and welcome to the Inkster Podcast. Danny, what's going on, bud?
Not too much, Riley. Not too much. Just really excited about this podcast. It's been something you and I have been working on for a little while. So being able to get it all together now and have these guests on here, it's awesome.
Right on, man. So since I know this is your close friend, how about you introduce him?
All right, sounds good. Hey, everybody, how's it going? Today on our show, we have a very special guest, a good friend of mine, longtime artist, longtime designer, clothing designer, Funko Pop collector, record label owner, events thrower, a little bit of everything. And I'd like to introduce you to Chezza.
Hello.
Hey.
Welcome. You guys need to get that button, that clapping button.
Yeah.
You will. Danny will put that in post.
I've got that.
Yeah. So, welcome to the pod, man.
Thank you.
How's the week going?
Not bad. We're at Thursday right now, so almost to the weekend.
We're almost there. Yeah.
But truthfully, do we even have like weeks and weekends anymore?
No,
not really.
I honestly, last night I was talking because I watch Netflix every single day, and then I think I have to switch shows on the weekend just to know it's the weekend.
It's the weekend.
Because like,
for real though.
Yeah, because I think I was watching The Office like during the week, and I'm like, you know what? I have to watch something else just because like it's at the end of the day, it's like all the same.
It's true though.
I gotta like mentally break it up. So yeah, like Danny said, you are just jack of all trades. You're doing everything. So, but let's go back to your music. How did you get into music?
So music, you could say I was like a late bloomer. It was really in university that I got into music. I went to University of Hartford in the States. So there was like a lot of random people who would freestyle here and there or battle. And I started getting into that with them. And then I started getting into the production because what first came out? Fruity Loops first came out around that time. So I started playing with Fruity Loops. I sucked at it. So my brother took it over, and then I just started writing to the beats he was making. And then from there, we had our first show opening for Method Man and Redman at our school. Yeah.
God damn. So like, let's talk about the nerves going in that show. Were you confident? Like, yeah, I got this. Or you're like, oh my God.
No, I was like, what is going on? Like, I was actually hoping that because we're openers, we weren't like the opener right before them, but a few before him. So I'm like, maybe we'll get lucky and get like a little 20 people, 10, 20 people.
You're like hoping for like
yeah,
10 people.
Started, there was nobody. I'm like, hey, I can deal with this.
Okay, all right. The confidence
all of a
comes
sudden, it was spring fling, university spring fling. So like everybody and their friends are there and they're just getting drunk. So I guess they started hearing music. I turned around, it was like 100 people. I was like, well, okay, here we go. Here we go.
I'm wearing a white shirt, and that was a bad idea because the sweats are coming in raging. Oh, God.
It was crazy. But luckily, because my older brother, the one who was making the beats, he pretty much took care of the actual set. So he had everything broken down. So like this song would be performed here. So I got my breaks in between. We had dancers, DJ, and everything within our set. So it actually worked out, but still.
Yeah.
I
definitely know that feeling where like, you know what? There's no one there. The confidence comes in, and then you just see a sea of people coming straight at you, and you're like, oh God. I don't know. Yeah. It's like, how do I say the word "the"? I don't know. I just forgot how to do English for a second.
Did you get the chance to meet them at all, Chaz, when you were there, or did you guys hang out with them a little bit?
Not at all. Like they were in and out, honestly.
Yeah.
When they got there, they went to like the union or whatever, who got them paid. They got on stage, and then right after that, they were out. So
I've heard a lot of times that Redman's quite the character.
Yeah, I hear that too. Like I had the weed ready. Like I was there. I was looking at them like
nice.
Puff guys, but
yeah,
they probably had better stuff.
But Yeah, that's the thing with the main acts. You don't know if they're going to be like hanging out for the night, or they're just like in and
They're in
out.
and out. You don't know how many shows they're gonna have, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
most times they're like, you expect them to be there or hope that they might watch my set. Usually no. Usually they come in and out. It's their job. They leave. Hopefully their manager's watching. That's about
Yeah.
it.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, like so going back and like you're doing everything, the music, merch, podcast, or clothing line. Where did the hustle come from?
Honestly, was living in the States. Because over there, you drive down the street, people are selling t-shirts, people are selling CDs, bootleg, burn, everything. Like everything is there. And they're all pretty much self-sufficient to make the money that they wanted to make. So in coming back to Canada from university, you didn't see that much. You didn't really see people hustling. So at first, I really started with the music. But then as I noticed that the music wasn't making as much money, it's like, okay, I got to look into different things. And plus, as an artist, you're like, okay, I got to spend this much to get CDs burnt or CDs made. How much would it actually cost me if I did it all myself? And that's when I got into the CDs. And then same thing with the t-shirts. Okay, they're going to charge me this much. So if they're charging me this much, what is their actual cost? And so that's how I got into doing the clothing line. So everything
Such a
was just
business
like,
mindset.
it's much easier. It's like, why go through this way when I can do it myself? And the way I felt with their pricing, I was like, yo, you guys are like ripping off artists, knowing that artists don't really have money like that. So
Yeah,
you know what? I'm going to do what you do. And it's a dickhead move to do, but I'm undercutting everything you're doing.
Oh no, 100%.
So
That's like the entrepreneurial mindset.
Yeah, exactly.
So going in all that and learning the ways and how people, like how t-shirts are made, like the pricing, do you have that method going into everything now? Or like, do you like over the years you pick up certain things, then you kind of use the skills and you adapt that into your new venture?
well, it all depends. Like, I'll try to test it out myself, but at the same time, if I find somebody who is able to do it themselves and give me a reasonable price, because at the same time, I like to share. Like, you share the wealth.
Mm-hmm.
If I can help you make money, in the end, you're gonna do stuff to make sure I make money too.
Yeah.
So I will look into those different people who are able to create those things I can't at the moment. But usually, if they don't move at the speed that I feel they should move, I'm gonna end up figuring it out how to do it myself.
Yeah, on that note, when social media became a thing, how has that kind of impacted your businesses or your music?
Business wise, it helps bring more eyes to it. Like music's like a flood right now. Like there's so much music. It's hard to really get your music to be pinpointed out of everybody out there. So with the merchandising and all that actually helps me open it up to, if you like say like this hat, the Spread Love, that's the last album I just dropped. So when I put the hat out and they're saying what Spread Love, boom, I can bring you to my music. So all the merch itself was more so just promotion, going back to my music. So that's what I found. What I had to do with social media is push more merch, push more work, and then the music will come behind it.
Oh yeah, right on. Yeah, because I've seen how musicians use social media for their music in like the right way, but I also seen it in the way of people are just not using it. They're not using the leverage that they're getting.
Yeah, they'll spam your email like, hey, check out my new song. They won't even say, hey, how are you?
No.
They don't even understand how big how are you will change that whole message.
Yes, it's all about the
true.
connection, man.
That's all it is. And if I come to you, like if I send both you guys a message, hey Riley, hey Danny, sorry to spam you, but this is my new song and I really like it. Can you check it out, please? You guys are gonna go look at it. You guys are, well, even if you don't, you're gonna look at it and give it a chance. Like,
Absolutely.
you know what? He spoke to me. It's not just a spam. And that's what a lot of people on Facebook do, is they'll spam you or they'll tag you on things that you have no clue why you're tagged or spammed for.
I'm guessing that happened to you.
Oh, I watch artists all the time. Like I watch artists all the time, and I gotta work. Like if I see an artist do that, I'm gonna watch it to see how it worked for them.
Oh yeah.
So if I see like some artists, what they'll do first is they'll put up a status that says, I'm dropping a new song at this time. Comment or like this post if you want to be tagged. So then at least that gives the people, anybody who gets tagged in later posts, they said, I want to be tagged in it. So then that's their way of fixing the spam. And now you're not feeling like you're getting spammed. You're feeling like I'm being reminded. So it's just all in the way that you use it. But a lot of people really don't use it right.
No, it's for me when I see it, I'm like, you're missing an opportunity. It's 100%. Right there. It's just the execution is not there. And it's something, again, at the end of the day, social media isn't hard. It's not, you're not a surgeon. You just have to have a few core like fundamentals of just, be personable, be friendly, be nice, because people will remember when you're like an ass or 100%. Anything. So
that's consistency. You got to be consistent on social media too. And that's one thing I got to say about Chezza is he is so consistent with his social media content. He's always posting, he never leaves any dead space for a couple days. It's like, it's consistent every day. There's always something new coming up.
It's new, but at the same time, it's like, I have to cut down on like the fluff and more on the business. You know what I mean? So instead of just sharing like, oh, this video is funny, it's more like, here's what I've been working on. Here's the new music. Here's the new, you know what I mean? It's like I got to promote more of the business instead of the fluff. So I'm still learning in that way.
Well, at the end of the day, social media is just always changing. It's so you always have to be on that and learning new things and having it to be creative, accessible and relatable.
And how can you know what works if you're not testing, right? You've got to put it out there. At least you try. There's a lot of people that won't even attempt it. Some people will put work into a post and sit there and let the mental warfare get to them, and they'll be like, I'm not even going to post this. And the next thing you know, they lose out on that opportunity.
100%. 100%.
Yeah, I would rather definitely put it out and then nothing else.
Definitely. And like back to what Danny was saying, you have to be consistent. What I've learned with Instagram, if I don't, so when I'm promoting an album, I'll promote the cover, then I'll give you like previews for that week of a song. Then the next week I have to give you previews of a song. But if I don't continue that consistently weekly, if I go a week without doing anything, I have to start from the beginning again. Because people need to be reminded of what they were following in the first place. So that's where the consistency really has to stay in as well.
It's all momentum. All momentum. And then, you have to, even with, when I talk about social media with a musician, my buddy I know, Yasin, who we had on last week, before he had no idea social media. He had like zero idea. And then now he's like, he's gaining traction because I told him, one thing you should be working on or really focusing on is not really the followers. It's just the engagement, getting that momentum, promote your stuff and just keep doing that.
Yeah. 100%.
And then things will come all together. But with that is creation. Like you have to create those content. But on that note, I'm trying to do a segue. It's not really executing well right now, but let's move forward. So the process of writing a song, I know everyone has their own way. Everyone has their own thing. How do you approach writing a song or writing your next single?
Just keep listening to beats. Honestly, the beats, it's weird, but the beats talk to me really. Like I'll listen to a beat and then all of a sudden I'll catch a flow. And then all of a sudden the words start popping up in my head. And then I'm like, okay, let me sit down and write this one out. And that's usually my process is I first start with that beat. And whatever that beat says to me, whatever flow it is, that's when I go into that. And then I go into the words. And
that's interesting, Chezza. So like, you're saying you always start with the beat, like you've never, you don't write sometimes and then try to find a beat that goes with something you've written?
Sometimes, but I find like to do that, it's really hard to catch the right beat. I'm going to have to end up changing up my flow and stuff. So what I do in that respect is I will go into that beat, but at the same time, I'm still going to find the flow first. So once I find the flow, then the words that I have written over here, I can take over and then break it down into the way I want it to sound. So yeah, there are times I do write ahead, but you'll never catch it on beat the same way that I wrote it. It'll be changed up to fit within that beat.
How many times do you go through, like how many songs do you write until you know that, the one it's the one, and that's your next single?
Man.
Yeah, there you go. Got it.
That's a lot of songs.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Like the last album, I just put out the Spread Love album. I have songs that haven't been released. I was holding on to them for at least 4 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So it just it's all on timing. It's all on timing. It has to fit the project that I'm working on. It has to fit the mood that I'm in at that point. Because I feel like at the same time, I'm not going to release music, but then if you look at me, it doesn't fit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't fit the actual music. So you're like, it's almost like if I put an album about gun violence and then you meet me, you're like, there's nothing, like you look at my hat. But I have an album about gun violence. You know what I mean?
Like, I hate everyone.
It has to fit me.
Red love.
Right? But yeah, that's yeah.
So yeah, because I know, that's something that you. It's always, I always find it interesting how many songs musicians go through until they hit that one, and some of them are like takes 2 minutes, or some of them takes like a week, or it's like the 19th song they wrote and they're like, nah, I still don't have it. But so you mentioned Spread Love. Tell us about that. Tell us about the project.
So this project itself was a collab album. What I wanted to do was work with a whole bunch of different artists, but at the same time showcased all the type of choruses I can write. So I believe there's about like 15 different artists on the album, maybe up to 20 different artists, and 8 songs, and I'm just on every chorus just showcasing that. So trying to get verses from people, from artists. That's why the album took 3-4 years. Artists are the worst, and I know this myself.
So was that going into that project collaboration? I'm guessing that was your number one goal.
Yeah.
Was it something that you weren't expecting? What was that one thing that you didn't expect to happen, but you're glad it did happen?
Really the blend of it. Like with all these different types of artists, you don't know what you're going to come up with. Like you don't know if this artist is going to blend with this artist. You don't know if this artist has a problem with that one. You just put them all together and you see what comes out of it. And mostly anyone who's heard this album, they say the same thing. They're like, we're so surprised these people came out, put it on the album, got together, and like it really came out dope. Really dope.
Oh man,
this is your most recent project, right, Chezza?
Yeah, it's the most recent one. Yeah.
Nice.
So my next question is is for the both of you. So you guys met in Sudbury, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We opened up a can of stories. So what did you guys, what did you learn from the city of Sudbury? Because I know everybody has their own thing that they kind of took from their own like hometown.
Honestly, with Sudbury, I can tell you is a confidence and entrepreneur spirit. Like people in Sudbury have like this overt confidence that they can do no wrong. And honestly, I've taken it with me with no problem.
Hey,
it's true.
might as well.
But then also, you'll see Sudbury people, if they're like, you know what? I'm starting a business today. They're going to start a business that day. And they're going to look at you and you're going to be like, yo, this is a serious business. Like, don't, just because I started it today, don't look at me like I just started. Like, this is a serious business. So between those two things, those are the biggest things I took out of Sudbury.
Yeah. What about you, Danny?
Kind of to touch on, I guess, what Chezza is saying, it is a very business centric type of small community. There's a lot of mom and pop businesses, so it's very supportive in that sense. I was fortunate enough to start my entrepreneurial career as a small business owner. I had a clothing store and a little photography business that I did for years, and I did well. And it's unfortunate that the city wasn't a little bit bigger and probably had maybe a bit more to offer, because I may have stayed. And I think a lot of it just, for me, was I just needed more opportunity, wanted to do other things. And Sudbury I love it. It's a great, it's a great community. It's just smaller. And right now where I was at in my life, I just needed to kind of get somewhere else in the bigger cities where there was a lot more opportunity, more clients to work with and things like that, right?
It's 100. That's the same thing. Like with Sudbury, I probably would have stayed in Sudbury if there was more opportunities to do different things. But
I mean, like between you and I, for sure, Chezza, if we know, I don't know how many people, maybe the whole city together.
Like,
It's not a very big city, and once you know a few influential business owners and other people throughout the community, I mean, you know pretty much everybody.
pretty much, yeah. If you have no problem repeating the same thing every week, living in Sudbury's fine. If you have no problems having your life scheduled out, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, every week, Sudbury's where you want to go.
But Sunday is the wild card. You can do anything on Sunday.
Sundays when we get together and talk about the week we just all had and get drunk.
Oh, see, well, that I didn't even know that. That I like that mindset where it's just like that's why I'm in Toronto, because there is mom and pop shops all around, and just the spirit that's, you know, you can feel it. It's a vibe almost. And yeah, that's interesting. So with what's happening in the past few years and the music industry taking a hit, like what is your plan to, one, I guess, change that, or did it affect your game plan moving forward?
Just performance wise, honestly. Like, well, and selling merch as well, because most times you perform and you have your merch table, so it was easier to sell that way. Now you don't have the performance anymore, so people don't get to see you face to face. They don't get to talk to you directly and see, oh yeah, I do like this guy, you know what I mean? You don't have that anymore, so it's more so it just changed up into creating more of a branding. Like everything is branded. Like I was showing you, like the hat is the last album. Like everything goes back to the music. Everything is branded within my thing now. So a lot more people have been coming my way for the clothing, for getting shirts printed, CDs printed, everything else. So I make money in that way more than doing performances now.
And Chaz, I mean, before, you know, pre-pandemic, all that kind of stuff, you were, more out of almost all the artists I think I know, you were on tour and doing shows more than probably anybody else. You know, so I'm sure it definitely affected you in that sense.
Yeah, definitely. That's what I mean. Like shows wise, like it just took that away. So trying to keep those fans who are so used to seeing my face, knowing that he's probably gonna do a show this November or this and that, makes it harder. But that's where the gear comes in. Like, now I have to make wicked gear that they're like, oh shit, it's as dope as you are. Let me go get that. So
yeah. So like speaking, like Danny just mentioned, pre-pandemic, you were just off. You're touring. You're doing playing shows. Is there any stories that, you know, they're memorable or they're like funny, or you had like a surreal moment?
There's a few. I'll tell you. So, do you know the Toronto artist Decisive?
I heard of him.
I do. Yeah.
All right. So, we had him booked in Timmins. We're like, so what? One way I was scheduling tours was I'd get a bigger opener and then get us as a bigger headliner and us as the opener. So in that way, people are always gonna come and check the music. Like, so Decisive, we had him on a Northern Ontario tour. We did Sudbury, North Bay, I believe, and Timmins. So when we get to Timmins, I get him checked into the hotel. We're checked in the hotel. I go down to check out the bar, and the bar is like, "You guys are booked for tonight?"
Oh god.
Yeah, we're booked for tonight.
Oh boy.
He's like, "Well, we booked a bull riding machine. We booked a bull riding machine. We didn't remember you guys were booked for tonight. You mind still performing then?" Sure, why not? So then I go back to the hotel, and it's funny because Decisive told this story to a magazine, and he's like, then the promoter comes into the room, and he's like, "Hey guys," then he looks down at his feet sheepishly. The venue double booked tonight. He's like, "All right, cool. Yeah, so we'll be performing in front of a bull riding machine." He just looked at me. He was like, "You know what? It's not the worst. It's not the worst. Let's do it." I said, "Cool." And we did this performance around the bull riding machine. It was very interesting. They had girls bull riding, which was weird. It was cool. It should have been cool, But looking at the girls, swear they were like 16. We're like, whoa.
No.
Yeah, it was like, we're like little town Timmins. So I was like, yeah, we're gonna finish this quick and get out. Like, I don't want to be blamed for any of this.
You're a red man. You just got it and you left. You're like,
yeah,
here's my set. I'm out.
We are out. Thank you. We went to I think we might have went to another bar. Timmins actually has 2 bars, so we went to the other one.
2 bars.
2 bars.
Nice.
Oh, it has 2 bars up
It's
north.
a 2-bar town.
2-bar town. All right.
Oh,
well,
actually,
I'm sure those experiences like that are a little humbling in some way. I'm sure.
hilarious. There's another one. Do you know JD Era? JD Era and Rich Kid. They're both
I
Toronto
know Rich
artists.
Kid. Yeah, I know Rich Kid.
JD Era just released a new song, the Stop the Violence song, with Maestro Fresh West.
Oh, okay.
But-
Nice.
So I had JD Era and Rich Kid booked for Toronto. Same type of deal. I mean, booked for Sudbury. So living in Toronto, I'm like, okay, I'll pick you guys up. I'll drive you guys. You guys can ride with me, and then we'll get there. So while we're driving up on the highway, we're smoking like crazy, like just smoking like crazy. Then the what's it called? And I'm gunning. I'm like doing like 140, no problems. So then we get pulled over. So I pull out a cigarette and start smoking cigarette, like trying to help
just
the
like
smell.
chimney. Like,
Yeah, just to see if it does anything, right? So the cop comes, doesn't smell nothing, said, get on your way, like slow down, cool. We slow down, boom. We get there. As soon as they get out the car, they're like, oh, I thought you were gonna kill us. We thought you were gonna kill us. Why were you going so fast? All this stuff. And I was like, what? I thought you guys were Toronto dudes. Like, what are you so afraid of? This is regular driving.
I'm like, that's how we drive.
Right? I'm like, what? That's normal. They're like, oh my God, we thought you were gonna kill us and all this stuff. And then you almost got us arrested. I was like, it's not that deep.
Dude.
But yeah, that's their story that they tell everybody about me too.
half the time I don't even realize I'm going 140 again. That might be more my thing where I don't realize I'm going fast. So
It all depends on the car. Some cars you can feel you're going 140.
oh yeah.
And then some cars you're like, I thought I was going 80.
Officer, I was going 80. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about?
My SUV's like that, man. You're doing like 140 and you feel like you're just
Like it's nothing.
like it's just you're just comfortably cruising.
Yeah.
It's dangerous.
It is.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. Like I have a Chevy Cruise, and you would think at 140 you'll start to feel it shake because it's like a base model and it's nothing fancy to it. But yeah, $140, I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm good.
Smooth sailing.
But that's not, when you look at other countries around the world and other highways, like 140 is not that fast. Like it is.
Not even Alberta.
Don't get me wrong. I mean, you can definitely do some damage, but if you're on a highway with other people that are sort of kind of going, that speed and everybody's doing it, it's not that bad. It's okay. But everybody here is just snowflakes and.
Yeah. No, it's once you get that hit, right? Like here, because they give us the time limit or the speed limit, it gets in our head. Give us no speed limit. It's almost like when they say they should decriminalize all drugs. You make drugs available to everybody with no problem, they're gonna look at that and be like, that's not cool.
Yeah, it's
like that's not cool. It's cool to be able to get it because it's illegal and like, hey, I got some of this. You know what I mean? If you can't do that, you're just like, hey, I got some of this, and you're like, okay, I can go get some right now if I wanted to. Like, who cares? Like,
it's down the street.
You know what I mean? It's like, I don't care. Yeah. That's like the whole thing. You take away speed limits, people would drive normally because they realize this lane is for the really fast people. Right now, speed limit people, what they do. Sorry to bring you guys all the way here.
Oh no, I was about to say, hey, from music to merchandise to highway driving. Inkster Podcast.
Hey. But yeah, truthfully, once you see 120, there's some people who will stay in the fast lane and they're like, I am going 120. So I am speeding. Then you're behind them like, yo, get out the way. I'm doing like 140 behind you. Get out the way. But they think because I'm going 120 and speed limit's 100, I'm speeding. You're just going too fast.
I heard they were going to increase the speed limit on the 401 like 120 or something like that. Is that
something like that? I believe 110, maybe 120, but they should. Like,
well, it's one of those things where I was out in Calgary a few years ago and I was driving and I was going 100 And then
People were honking at you?
Yeah, because apparently it's like 120.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I was like, what is this? And I felt, and then I was like, okay, so this is 120. I could go 140, no doubt. So
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
You see?
But I was like, I was in a truck. For some reason, we rented a truck. Stupid idea. But you could feel it in this bad boy. And I was like, oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh, shit. That's a hold on. I'm just paying attention to the steering wheel.
Yeah, I was like,
truck right there.
Right. Wow. Music,
Yeah.
merchandise, and highway driving in Alberta. Love it.
Hey. As long as it's
So
smooth.
Chaz, I gotta bring it up because I love this collection thing that you do. Tell us a little bit about the Funko Pops, man.
Funko Pops. I tell people I'm overcompensating for being a kid, not able to find black toys. Not overcompensating in that way, sir. I saw your eyebrows raise up.
I mean, no, I have an expressive face. All right, can't help it. Sorry.
Can we see like maybe like two of your favorite ones?
Okay. I'd have to move around.
I love the way these things look, man.
All right.
Yeah.
Actually, I have a bootleg of one of my favorite ones, which I already have the real one of. So this one, the biggie one.
Can you tell us what they are? Can you like the story behind the Funko Pops a bit?
All right. So yeah, biggie. So yeah, like I'm saying, I was overcompensating as a kid, not being able to get many black toys, right? So with this, it's just like a whole lot of characters, like TV shows, basketball players, athletes, comic books, just anything and everything that I could find that was like black is pretty much behind me. And then there's the mixture, like I have Cable from the X-Men, I have Kingpin from Spider-Man, like what else do I have? I have this Incredible Hulk. It's about 6 inches tall. I love the number of it. It's 705 just because of that. But also it's like I remember the comic book vividly. Like something happened, blows up the place. The only thing left standing is Hulk with 2 guns and pink bunny slippers. So I have that pop up there. I have one
and you're making them now too, right?
Yeah, I make them now. So actually, they obviously, it shouldn't be obvious, but obviously they don't make Canadian like heroes or Canadian hip hop artists or anything. So I made one, which is Maestro Fresh West. But yeah, it's just a way to collect and create new characters. You know what I mean? Collect and create people. So with the Funko Pops, I'm trying to figure out a way to start selling them to people. So if an artist wants a Funko Pop of themselves, you pay me, or just even a person, anybody. If you just want a Funko Pop of yourself, I get it done. I paint it in the way that you need, and then boom, that's you.
Danny, I have an idea.
I know the wheels are kind of turning, right? Yeah.
I have an idea, and I think you know what it is.
Yeah, I do. We'll talk about it for sure.
But yeah, let me know. But yeah, so yeah, no, the Funko Pops is just a collecting thing. And also, as a kid, I collected comic books, I collected hockey cards, I collected all those shit, and never took care of them. Never took care of them.
And now look, they're worth like $1 million now.
Exactly.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's why I never thought of it. Like you think about it, like you think back, you're like, yeah, because there were a lot of people who said, I need the plastic and I need the back. If it was a card, you'd get like the hard casing on the card. If it was like a rookie card and stuff like that, you knew, but at the same time, you always want to touch it and look at it or read it or whatever.
Yeah. Well, you're a kid. You just want to touch and
everything.
Yeah.
Trust me. My kids come down here and they sit there and they just stare at the wall, and I know what they're thinking.
Daddy's got a better toy collection than they do.
No, they're looking at it like, one day, I'll get you all. One day, I'll get you all. And they'll start counting numbers like, Daddy, who's number 240? What do you mean? That one right there. Who's that? I said, this is that. Oh, okay. And that one right there. I'm like, stop. They're not yours.
It's a cool way to teach them about pop culture and things like that, though.
That's true.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. There's a lot of things they ask me. They're like, I have TLC. They just released the TLC one. So it's like T-Ball's Left Eye Chili from the Waterfalls video. So now my daughter is always like, Chili, it's Chili. You finally got Chili. And I'm sitting there like, This sounds so funny coming from you, kid. Like you're excited for me getting a toy. Oh, okay. So yeah, just pretty much collecting. I keep them in good shape. Like this one right here is like worth like 200. That one beside it is worth like 100. So it's like the biggie, the one that I showed you.
Yeah.
So this is the bootleg, but the real one that I have back here is like right here. That one is
man,
about...
it's the classic white suit with the top hat and
exactly.
Nice.
They have a whole bunch of different ones. Like look at the Tupac. The Tupac is a bootleg because the biggie one is worth about $400. This one, real one, this is Tupac, red bandana, blue jeans, Thug Life on the belly.
That's amazing.
Thug Life on the belly. This one in real life, like the real one, not the bootleg one, $2,000.
Oh, wow.
They have Elvis ones worth $2,000. They have one that they couldn't get the Bob Marley's actual like copyright, so it's called Singin' Rasta. That one's worth like about $2,000. And these are like all the early ones that when we went to stores, we just walked by it thinking it was funny.
Wow.
Little things like this. Look at them now. You never know.
Look at them now.
So amazing. Thanks for sharing that with us, Chez.
Yeah, that was
it's Funko Pop, man. Like I really got into this. Honestly, I've been into it probably less than 6 months. My wife is just like,
oh shit. Yeah. That's all I have to say. That's all I have to say.
She just looks at every time a new package comes in. And that's the worst part. That's the worst part about this whole pandemic thing. You know, I can't just go to the store, stash it in my jacket, and walk in the basement. No, they mail it to the door.
You can't hide it.
She's always the first one to the door.
Is it so? Does it come in an Amazon box or does it come in like UPS or?
Well, regardless how it comes
True.
in a pop-sized box.
Oh,
so she knows.
So it doesn't even hide. It's not a bigger box with this little thing. Nope.
Okay.
Pop size, perfect. It fits everything. You just like can't hide it.
Because if it's got Amazon, you can just like go find like a lightning deal, like in the for her section, and there you go. But yeah,
you think? No, you can't. No, they send it in the little boxes too.
Damn.
So, like I understand it because it does keep it safe, and you want these things in good condition, but at the same time. You can't help me out a bit.
Out, man.
Just a
bit. You're baiting me out, dude. What's going on?
A little bit, man.
All right. Well, wow. So let's wrap this bad boy up. So where can people find you? What's your socials?
Mostly Instagram at Chezza. My website, icebergsociety.com. If you want to check out my podcasts, man, that's a lot of podcasts. Right now, I have like 4 different podcasts running.
Ooh.
So there's the Casual Fan Podcast where we talk about wrestling. Yes, I still watch wrestling, which is...
Hey, I'm with you.
All right. It's upsetting because wrestling right now sucks, but I watch it.
Yeah.
I watch it. I'm not saying it sucks because it's wrestling. I'm just saying like the product itself. I still love the wrestling itself.
Agreed.
And then second one is also Casual Fan Marvel Podcast where we talk about, because Marvel is dropping once a week. There's going to be a Marvel release for like the rest of the year.
Jeez.
So every week we're going to talk about what's happening in Marvel pretty much.
Disney Plus, baby.
That's just one of the... Can we talk about that? Like how TV companies set us up? Remember, we used to buy TV packages of like 100 channels for about $50 to $70 a month, right? Now we pay for each channel for at least $10 a month.
It adds up.
It's an app now. Each channel is an app now, and we pay for each one of them. So to get to that 100, there's no way. We used to get more than 100. Let's be serious. We used to get more than 100 channels for less than $100, and now there's no way you can get 100 for like $1,000. Like crazy. They got us good. They got us really good.
Yeah, they found a way. Damn it.
But yeah, so then there's the other podcast, FQRY. I do that with my older brother where we just watch a bunch of shit online, whatever we find, and just judge it and laugh at it. And then there's Welcome to the Shot Club. That's at shotclubpodcast.com. That's me and my 3 friends, Trace Motivate, Mo Littles, and David Solomon. That's where we just talk hip hop and take shots every 10 minutes. It's funny.
It's good.
It is funny. It used to be a 2-hour show. Pod? Yes, it is video too. It is video too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's done live.
It's done live too. So yeah, we broke it down to 1 hour because 2 hours was just becoming too much.
Yeah, that's a sloppy end.
Yeah, it was. Our first episode, when we first did it, we had no timer. It was just like, let's take a shot when we feel like taking a shot. By the second episode, we're like, we need a timer.
Boys, we can't do this anymore, man.
There's no way we're doing that
man,
again.
the morning was terrible, man.
It's getting better. It's getting easier, actually. The Mondays are getting easier. Especially being at home. I don't have to get up, get dressed, all that. Just go downstairs and start working. Nice and easy. But yeah, so those are all the places you can find me. Hope you had a pen.
Thank you so much, Chezza. I will we'll drop those links down on the screen and everybody will be able to see that. Thanks for joining us tonight. I really appreciate it, bro.
Yeah, man.
Thank you guys for having me. This is dope. Inkster's back.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
All right, guys. Well, that has been the Inkster Podcast. You can find all the social media links, like what Danny just said, all in the description below. And if you are a musician or if you are an artist and you want to be featured on the podcast, let us know. Follow our social, and we'll get to connecting. Remember, guys, stay creative. Take care.